Today it's being reported that Colorado's expecting Deion Sanders to accept the head coaching job in the next few hours here, and I can't say I'm surprised since I've been talking about him leaving Jackson State for the last month now. I will say I am confused as to why people on Twitter are questioning why he's leaving or why he's taking a bad Pac-12 job, so I decided it was worth me doing a breakdown to give you some reasons that played a part into this decision. But real quick note before I do, I know Deion was very pro HBCU and he sold the idea of building up black colleges for black people, which number one is admirable and it's awesome to see, and number two, it ended up working out since he put a ton of money back into that program and he brought more national media attention to Jackson and to the SWAC than they'd ever had before. So before we get into this discussion, I just want to make sure we're clear that this video is a football and a career conversation. It's not a debate over whether he's right or wrong to leave, since he's been selling the HBCU positivity for like 3 years now. Let's start with some backgrounds. He's in year 3 at Jackson State, and he just led them to their first undefeated season in school history and pushed his head coaching record to 27-5 in just 3 years. Now keep in mind, he's at an FCS school, but he's still managed to recruit 4 3-stars, 6 4-stars, and a 5-star out of high school. All guys who'd usually end up at Power 5 programs with way more resources and way bigger brands than what he's been working with. The rumors that he'd get some big-time offers started back in October with Nebraska, and after that one didn't happen, stories started coming out that Cincinnati, USF, and Colorado were all interested. And I know some fans bought into the idea that he's already rich and he's not doing this for the money, so he can afford to stay at Jackson and continue to build there. But we're talking about Deion Sanders. We're talking about a guy known for his ego and known for how success-driven he is. Jackson was a stepping stone for him. It was a time to learn how to manage a smaller school, and ultimately, it was a means to an end. I don't know Deion, but I can tell you he wants to be the best at whatever he does. And to be the best coach, you gotta be at the best schools. You gotta be in the best conferences, and you gotta be in a position to compete for championships. He went into Jackson with plenty of personal and community goals 3 years ago, and now that he's accomplished pretty much all that he set out to, he's ready to continue growing as a big-time football coach. And that leads us to Colorado. But real quick, today's video is brought to you for free by BroThrow, the #1 peer-to-peer online sports betting platform. You can join our BroThrow community by clicking the link in the description below to sign up for free, or you can just head to brothrow.com/GBR. Unlike online sportsbooks, BroThrow is legal to use in all 50 states, yes, even California and Nebraska. And you just have to be 18 or older to sign up, and most importantly, you don't pay the vig on any of the bets you win. So if you bet $5 on a game, you win $5, and over time, that really adds up. In the last 3 months alone, I've made $658 more on my bets than I would have with my old book. So if you're looking for a place to bet on bowl season or for the NFL playoffs or any other sport you watch, you can join us over there. Now back to Colorado. Before you say it's cold there, or that they suck, or that it's in a dying conference, or whatever other negative argument you can come up with, let's talk about the facts. Deion never coached in an FBS game. He's never had to manage a big-time Division I program that brings in millions of dollars, and he's taken a relatively unconventional route by starting his coaching career as an FCS head coach. Colorado is not the dream. It's not the end-all be-all, and he views it as a stepping stone to get to the big-time job he actually wants, which is obviously going to be Florida State, Texas A&M, or one of the other blue bloods that can compete for national championships. We can kill the cold argument since he's going to make plenty of money and he can buy plenty of parkas. And we can kill the Colorado sucks argument since he can use that to bolster his resume once he starts winning. And we can kill the dying conference argument since he's not planning on staying there longer than 2 seasons. If the only 3 options were Jackson State, South Florida, and Colorado, I guess he just had to settle for the best of the worst. People talk about good business being a win-win for both parties, so let's talk about the 5 reasons why this job makes sense for Deion, why it's a win-win situation, and why it was time for him to move into the Power 5. Before we do, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button now so you don't miss any of my future breakdowns, and hit the like button if you think Colorado can get back to a bowl game next season. Kicking it off with number 1, he's got nothing left to prove in the FCS. In just 3 years, Jackson State went from losing records and almost no brand power to being a consistent 9 to 12 win team and one of the top two FCS football brands in America, right up there with North Dakota State. With the 12-0 finish today and the national conversation around Jackson State, he's accomplished everything he could ask for. He's got the best recruiting class in school history, a top 10 ranking nationally, a conference championship, and an HBCU national championship. What else is there? Deion knows his stock's as hot as it will ever be at that level, so wait now and hold out for a slightly better Power 5 job, or just bounce over to Colorado and get to work on adding to the resume so he can climb up to a Tier 1 job by 2025. Number 2, Colorado needs to take the risk in exchange for the upside. The last 5 coaches who came through Boulder had a combined 3 seasons finishing at least 500, and they didn't win any of those 3 bowl games either. The expectations aren't to win the Pac-12. They just want to get back to consistent bowl appearances and being decently competitive so they aren't the laughing stock of their conference. They could take a shot on a hot coordinator or maybe a big-time coach who failed at his last job, or you can go out and pay for the best college football marketer in the country and get him to coach the team as a bonus. Finishing last in the Pac-12 won't help in recruiting or filling seats, but hiring one of the hottest guys in the country can solve both those problems today. Number 3, money. Deion's salary now is only $300,000, and even though he's already rich, money's a driving force for all until they hit a certain threshold that Deion's not at yet. It's reported that Colorado will pay him over $5 million a year to come, so that's a pretty significant jump, but that doesn't include the support staff pool. I have no idea what he was paying his staff at Jackson, but Colorado can give him way more to build a stronger staff who has more experience and ultimately is going to help him win more since the competition in the Pac-12 is way tougher than what he's been used to. Number 4, recruiting will skyrocket for Colorado and for Deion. He's already lured NFL caliber talent in to play for him, and that was a school that none of those guys had ever thought they'd consider. The Deion effect's real, and he can sell Boulder as if it's Ann Arbor to some of these guys in the portal and in this next recruiting class. It's already been reported that a couple big names in the transfer portal have been contacted by Deion's staff, so if we see a USC level portal haul in these next 3 months, don't be surprised. Neither of Colorado's last 2 recruiting classes featured a single 4-star, and I bet he brings in at least 5 from high schools in Texas or California by February. Number 5, he has to show he can win in the Power 5. If the ultimate goal is a blue blood, which I have to assume it is, Deion needs to bolster that resume. One of the reasons Nebraska fans wanted him so bad was because of how fun it would be to have superstar recruits come in. But the reason Trev Alberts couldn't consider him as a serious candidate was because he hasn't proven he can win against the best coaches. Colorado's in the Pac-12, and make whatever comment you want about the future over there, but Deion gets a shot at USC, Oregon, Oregon State, UCLA, and Utah all next year, and those are all teams who rank in the top 25 currently. Bonus points, he gets TCU and Nebraska as non-conference games, and that means he's got 7 chances in year 1 to pull off a major upset and get the entire country screaming his name. Deion wouldn't take this job to build Colorado into a perennial contender or to get the program back to being relevant long-term. His goal is going to be to win yesterday and pick up his first blue blood job offer tomorrow, which means he's hitting the portal as hard as he possibly can to build a roster that can compete with the rest of the Pac-12 and push for 8 wins in year 1. This strategy is completely different from Matt Rule at Nebraska, who wants to build the culture his way and develop players for sustained success. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see Deion beat schools like that in his first year and have ESPN posting him up every 5 minutes on Instagram. We know his son Shadar would come over as his quarterback, and I'm sure he'd pull a couple other stars from that current team, but I guess he puts a lot of focus on the guys who have Power 5 experience, but needed a fresh start because of coaching change or whatever else made him leave their school to begin with. He's already proven to be one of the best recruiters in the nation, and with a few big-time wins, I'd have a hard time believing he stays at Colorado longer than 2 years. 8 or 9 wins would be enough proof of concept since only one coach got Colorado over 8 wins since 2005, and in the new era of college football, that's more than doable. But I want to know what you think, so let me know in the comments below. Is Deion a good fit at Colorado, or are you confused by this hire? Can they land a top-rated recruiting class going into next season, or are they too deep in the gutter to bounce back that fast? And do you think Deion can win against some of these really good Pac-12 coaches, or is this the job where the hype starts to slow down? I'm really excited to see how he fits in there, and I wish him the best, even though my team's got to play him in Boulder week 2. But at least he's going to draw some serious TV numbers and help out with the marketing for that game. That's all I've got for you today, so until next time, thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Big Red.